Holy crap, guys, that last video on Halo did really well for me. Like, better than most of my videos on my channel. I really underestimated the Halo autist army. You were all real soldiers there, fellas.
Future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
In light of my video being seen by more than just my family, I want to look at some of the comments you guys left, as there is quite a lot. Some were funny, some were very informative, and some were absolutely meticulous. Let's start with some of the fun ones.
If you can't scold it, then you don't love it. Simple as that.
Well put, Zanu. I couldn't say it better myself. All we can really do as fans is criticize the stuff that we love and hope that the games we love will improve. Zanu is a good friend of the channel and you should definitely check him out. He only has a few vids right now, but I have no doubt he's going to completely eclipse me in popularity.
I like the vid, bruh, but please rewatch your vids before posting them. There was a bunch of editing errors that seemed like you just forgot to edit them out.
Yeah, pretty much. The video was originally just going to be a YouTube short, but then the script kind of ballooned, and then I did some rewrites, and I didn't realize it was going to blow up the way it did, so I didn't put a whole lot of effort into making it. Definitely should have done more quality checking though, as it is my fault for the quality of the video. All I can say is that I will improve on the future, so thank you for the comment.
Honestly, I am so hyped for this game. I love the content they have, and if I wanted an authentic Halo CE, I'd play MCC Personnel.
Can somebody please tell me what this comment means? I've read this multiple times and I have no idea what it means. I've been analyzing it under a microscope for days looking for anything intelligent, but I can't figure it out. What do these hieroglyphics mean?
Did you know that the character Rawhide is in Agent Carter 331? Fuck you, Alex.
Ugh, this is what I get for letting my friends know I have a YouTube channel.
Criticizing? Yeah, I can tell I'm in for a very well-argued, intellectual video, Lamau.
Well, that was idiotic. Off to hang myself. Off and left.
If you want a Halo 2 and 3 remake, then support Halo CE remake.
You realize we don't want those, right? You don't, because you aren't a real Halo fan. We do want remakes of those games.
Who is this we you're talking about? Bot?
Let them fight.
FYI, the creator of these shorts claimed he was an OG way back when he was a child. Specifically, he said he could consistently beat Halo 2 Lasso when he was 6 years old in 2004. Sure, buddy. Yeah, in case you aren't aware, Halo 2 Lasso is one of the hardest, if not the hardest challenge for any seasoned Halo fan.
Today I'm going to play the level Gravemind from Halo 2 on Legendary difficulty, but with a catch. If I die, the video ends. Let's go.
I tried so hard and got so far.
You have to play Halo 2 on Legendary with all the gameplay modifying skulls on, which is really difficult in a Halo game that is already the hardest in the series. This is the clip where he brags about his Halo achievements.
4 years old, I only played the Halo franchise. At the ripe age of 6 or 7, I was beating Halo 2 on Lasso consistently. I probably have close to 20,000 hours on that game.
Right.
I'm not saying that these things could not be true, but the fact that he apparently is this massive Halo fan that has all these like massive achievements in the Halo community, and he's never released a Halo video, a Halo short, or anything prior to the announcement of Campaign Evolved is kind of sus. And honestly, it's very unlikely that he actually achieved any of this. Another commenter even pointed out that his achievements are privated. We can't even fact check if he actually accomplished these goals.
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up. We need to start gatekeeping Halo.
343 killed Halo, but the amount of shills and toxic positivity people in the community did so much damage. I cannot stand these YouTubers. I low-key dislike them more than 343. And Xperia, Mint Blitz, Halo Follower, Ubernick, etc.
That's one thing I didn't really go into during the video, but toxic positivity is definitely a huge issue when it comes to the gaming community. I get some people just want to be hyped for the next game, but you shouldn't shut down criticism just because you want more games. Kinda reminds me of Nintendo fans during the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake, when it came out on the Switch running at 30 FPS, when the original on the GameCube ran at 60 FPS. and people telling other people just to buy the game so we can get more Paper Mario. I didn't buy the remake not because I hate Thousand Year Door, but I couldn't justify myself buying a worse product. I have higher standards when it comes to Nintendo because they are such a big corporation that has a huge library of classic games. So I'm not going to buy an inferior copy just for the likelihood, just for the hope of getting a new Paper Mario game.
Get that shit out my face before I shove it up your ass.
These people act like 343 hasn't fucked up Halo for 14 years straight, and all the hate is coming out of nowhere.
This is rich coming from someone who started playing Halo with Halo Reach and Halo 4, but I assume the people that are still defending 343 either aren't paying much attention to them messing up Halo, or they love the direction that 343 has for Halo and do not like the Bungie era games. All we can do is inform these people about the failures of 343 and Halo Studios, and hopefully they can understand why Halo fans are mad about the directions of Halo. And not everybody is going to listen. I mean, there are still the Halo 5 truthers who still think that game is absolutely epic and based.
I heard a noise. Is somebody downstairs?
Oh God, Meg, you startled me. I'm sorry.
Bungie fanboys need to either get over it or leave. Yeah, we did leave. That's why 343 is trying to cater to us. We're the bigger fan base. If we weren't, 343 would have soldiered on to Halo 6 and not a soft reboot with Infinite, and then a complete reset by remaking Halo CE.
I do want to make this incredibly clear that I do think it's perfectly fine if Halo and other game franchises want to branch out and attract new fans to the game series. This can be done tastefully, like Breath of the Wild, which attracted open world fans to the series, or it can be done poorly, like inviting the Call of Duty crowd into Halo 5. It's just about how you do it. You just don't want to drive away your core fan base, because those are the people that love the game series from the very beginning.
On the HUD next to the gun and ammo, there is a button. Press right trigger to shoot. If 343 can't stop treating us fans like we are 6 years old, then I won't stop treating like they fucking deserve.
Unfreaking believable.
I think it's funny how in the video of him criticizing people for not liking Sprint, he proceeded to list out a bunch of completely valid reasons why Sprint shouldn't be in the franchise like Halo. And his only counter to all those points was repeating them in a condescending impersonation and then using the appeal to normalcy as an argument. Like all these corporate fart huffers can do, is give vague manipulative justifications as to why the franchise has been so terribly managed for so long, and then cry when people are being quote-unquote toxic, when they inevitably get clowned on for making awful responses.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that either. There are actually quite a few videos out there on YouTube, like the one with the Halo grunt.
It has Sprint, and the textures don't look like they did 24 years ago, and the Needler has too many details, and Halo doesn't belong on PlayStation.
What an annoying little
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Very tasteless and honestly stifles productive conversation. That's a huge reason why these communities become so vitriolic. They can't even criticize a game without being made fun of. And on that same token, we should allow people who do enjoy the new Halo games, enjoy them, but also let them know that I have specific criticisms about the game and that these are why I don't want the game series to go in this direction. Honestly, it's just good practice to allow people to speak their mind without being shut down immediately.
Why is it so hard for Halo fans to understand the difference between a remake and a remaster?
Honestly, the funniest thing about these types of comments, and I got quite a few of them in my video, I don't think they actually know what a remake actually is. For clarity, a remaster is when it is the same game at the core, but they improve the resolution or maybe add some quality of life features. Think of games like the Devil May Cry HD collection or the more recently released Tales of Graces F. If it has HD at the end, it's probably a remaster. The former updated the graphics to HD, and the latter updated the visuals and added cut content from the Japanese version of the game to the American version. A remake, on the other hand, is when you remake the game in a new engine or by using new technology, but at its core, it's still the same game. Metal Gear Solid Delta is a perfect example of this, as the audio and the core gameplay have barely been changed, but it was remade in a new engine, and the graphics look way more modern and sleek. Another great example is the Rygar game on the PS2, which is a 3D remake of the original Rygar that looked like this. Remakes can make certain creative liberties, like when it transitions from 2D to 3D, but historically they have pretty much stick to the bones of the original. maybe reinterpreting things when it is necessary. A great example is the RE1 remake on the original GameCube. That game was made by Shinji Mikami, who made the original Resident Evil. According to Shinji Mikami, the remake is what he wanted the original Resident Evil to be like if technology was advanced enough at the time. So that's a good example of there are changes that you can make to a remake to make the game better, but they should still stick to the sole core game philosophy of the original. And honestly, it's better if it's made by the original person that made the original. Now, I think what the commenter is referencing is the concept of reimaginings, which is when a game developer takes a game and makes their own spin on that title to make it an overall different gaming experience than the original. RE2 Remake, for example, is a completely different game than the original RE2, and to act like one is a replacement for the other is just silly. Both games have their merits and should be evaluated differently because they are different games. I don't really blame people who go the whole, oh, well, if they're going to remake it, they need to make it a different experience and they need to make it different than the original because we have the original. But I don't really subscribe to that idea because a lot of the reasons why people support these remakes is for preservation purposes. And if these remakes are going to be so vastly different than the original, then it's not really for preservation. I plan on making a proper video on this topic very soon, but this will have to suffice for now.
Another Halo hater.
Ah, yes! What an enlightening comment! And to thank you for your valued contribution to the cause, I have fixed your username. You are welcome, good sir. Bye-bye.
Bro is joking, Halo CE.
I don't know what that means, and I think that's a good thing. Now, to end off the video, I want to go through this long-ass comment thread that somebody posted down in my comments. It goes over around 13 points, and I'm just going to give some quick answers and some quick responses to these points, because I do want to take the time to respond to this because he did take the time to write this out, and I think some of these points could be further expanded upon as a good addendum to my video. I am going to try to counter any arguments because there are some aspects that I 100% think people are being way too nitpicky about. The AR having 32 rounds is not a nerf to the gun. They are likely using the Halo 3 iteration of the sandbox. The reason the AR is dropped so quickly in CE is that it just is a Halo 2 or Halo 3 SMG. It has a lot of bullets, but it's pretty weak. The reason it's missing in Halo 2 and has 32 rounds in Halo 3 is because Bungie didn't like the idea of having their assault rifle be nothing more than an SMG. This is also why the Magnum was changed and replaced with the battle rifle in Halo 2. And if you noticed, the two starting weapons you get in both Halo CE and Halo 2 are the same. You're given the AR and Magnum in CE and the SMG and battle rifle in Halo 2, the latter two guns being the functional thematic replacement to both former weapons. Halo 3 fixed this by changing the AR to function differently than the SMG, and bringing its ammo count down to 32. The remake is likely going to include the SMG. Whether or not you think the SMG is going to be included in the remake, nerfing the assault rifle just to add the SMG is not what fans want. The battle rifle and Magnum are functionally different, as Halo 2 focuses more on precision weapons, which is why they made the battle rifle. So changing this would affect the weapon balance in Halo CE. I don't understand how weapon bloom messes with the art style of Halo. Weapon bloom is how, when you fire your gun, it becomes less accurate. That's a feature that has been in Halo since the Bungie days, and was added in Reach. Bloom was a pain in the ass in Halo Reach, and caused many of the weapons to be less reliable, even the DMR, which was a meta weapon in Reach. Bloom was not present in Halo CE, and will change how the game plays with encounters. You know, game feel? Sprint was added by Bungie in Reach. Sprint was an armor ability in Reach, and you had to choose between other armor abilities, which added an element of risk and reward for the system. Even with this though, many fans didn't like how Sprint changed the level design in Reach, by making the levels too big to explore if you didn't have a movement ability like Sprint. Consider then the Flood missions, which are way slower and more atmospheric focus, and how Sprint would ruin the horror and suspense of those sections. The Flood was faster than you in the original game, so giving you Sprint would make them less terrifying and less effective. Adding in new weapons won't break the balance inherently because the AI in the game is not identical to CE. The AI seems to be more in line with the behaviors shown in Halo Reach, a Bungie game. The AI in the gameplay shown was really dumb, and barely reacted to you barreling towards them with the Warthog. The AI in Halo Reach was not as dumb as the new gameplay, but it definitely wouldn't work in the CE level design. I mean, look at the gameplay showcase where they just completely mollywomp all the enemies with the Warthog. No challenge at all. The Covenant's first major overhaul in design came from Halo Reach, where Bungie specifically made them to look more aggressive. Considering Halo Reach takes place it literally starts the opening of CE, I would say that this is the Bungie's design for how the Covenant should look like in Halo CE moving forward. Look, I'm not a Bungie dick rider, don't get me wrong. I can admit when they have made a change that I don't like some of the changes in Reach. But to say that the design of the Covenant and Campaign Evolved looks anything like Reach is ridiculous. They again look more like 343 designs than Bungie. The Needler ammo screen is stupid. Yes. I don't see why re-recording the lines is a bad thing at all, and this is really just a subjective point. Unless they re-record every single line in the game, then it's going to be jarring, because characters like Cortana had a very specific voice direction in Halo CE that's not present in any of the other games. And something tells me that they're just going to make her sound like boring old modern day Cortana. Faithful Remake is highly subjective and legit depends on who you're asking or for what they want. There are many longtime Halo fans who think a one-to-one remake of CE with better graphics would be a waste of time. So you agree with me that the game shouldn't exist to begin with. Thanks, I appreciate it. The Warthog changes are not an overcomplication. This is an update based on modern real-life technology. Militaries are using airless tire tech. Good thing Halo is a sci-fi universe. The HUD is cluttered and is strained from the original, but you can completely customize it. Tell me with a straight face that 343 is going to implement a classic HUD design that changes color, size, and placement. We have no idea what this is going to be, and you're just assuming these things anyways. Not many games actually let you customize the HUD to a serious degree that would change to the degree that you're suggesting. Usually they just turn off specific HUD elements, like in Far Cry where you can turn off all the HUD elements to give you a more realistic player experience. The tweets made by Jamie were completely contradicted by the tweets made by Marcus Leto, who was the art director for Halo CE, Halo 2, and Halo 3. Here is his tweet for reference. My honest impression of seeing the new Halo campaign Evolved is this. I absolutely love where this is going. The game looks and feels genuine. It's gorgeous in a way I wish we could have built it back in 2001. It warms my heart to see Halo CE like this. His @ is @GameFabricator if anybody wants to verify this as true with their own eyes. So no, you have the literal art director of Halo CE saying that he likes the art direction.
Whoa. This is worthless. It's less than worthless, my boy.
Most of my points with Jamie had nothing to do with the art design, so I don't know why you're bringing him up. I used him primarily with points about the game and level design. If the art director likes the new direction of the series visually, that's cool. I will not take that away from him. But when I talk about Jamie, I'm talking about game design. If I bring up this other guy, it would be for the art design. Prequel missions being added are there probably just to justify the price tag. Once again, I have absolutely seen several people say they would not pay $60 for a one-to-one remake of CE. I had another commenter give a better example of what the bonus missions could look like, so it wouldn't interfere with the lore of the series. I don't really care if you need to justify the price tag, because I'm not an investor for Halo Studios, thank God. If they retcon humans being Forerunners, that would be a major red flag. However, I don't think retconning something in CE to match up with later Bungie games is a problem. The Bungie era games have always hinted that humans were Forerunners, so changing that would be retconning Bungie lore, with stuff Bungie didn't write. I'm okay with retconning Bungie lore with later Bungie lore, since it was basically all written by the same person or people. I don't know, that's all I got from this. Retconning an old game for new content is a bad idea, because it dismisses the original story of where Halo started. Also, I think you got confused. I was saying that they were gonna retcon the Forerunners not being humans, not that they were humans, so I'm not exactly sure what you were talking about. But I don't know, that's all I got from this. There are so many more comments I could go over, but I think this is a good place to stop for today. Seriously, over 400 comments is so cool to me. I want my videos to be a springboard for conversation about video games and nerd shit. If you did subscribe because of that video, I hope you do stick around. I won't always be talking about Halo, but I do have some really cool stuff planned for the near future, so stay tuned. Like always, keep on gaming. Bye bye.